Good afternoon, everybody. If I can have your attention. First off, happy Valentine's. Happy Valentine's Day out there. And once again, I want to thank the Chamber and the Hilton for providing me with the opportunity to share with this wonderful day with my wife. Honey, the steakhouse is out, but I'm buying you lunch today, okay? Now, I've been asked to present some of the good things that are happening in the village. And I have on the stage here the people that will present and tell you what they've accomplished. You know, we're very fortunate in this town to have so many benevolent organizations. Organizations like the VFW, the Lions Club, the American Legion, parents, school associations, our Oaklawn Parks Foundation, where Steve Lelouchis, our president, is in the audience today. Thank you, Steve. Anyway, these organizations, they fulfill their mission in their charters, but indirectly, these organizations are what makes Oaklawn the community that it is. And the Chamber of Commerce has not only promoted the many businesses, interests throughout the city and promoted their commerce, but their work makes Oaklawn a desirable place to live for its current, its future residents, and I might point out its businesses. Through the Chamber's work, the residents of our community are rewarded with considerable sales tax, which helps provide many municipal services, which makes our community strong. Now, last year I announced an incentive and a concept to help you Oaklawn businesses in their recovery after the COVID shutdowns. And I'm proud to report we have eliminated business license fees for the year 2022 for over 900 businesses. Our board felt strongly that the businesses experienced unique pressures because of the COVID, its labor shortages, and its ongoing supply chain issues. So I hoped that helped you people in the room here with your budgeting throughout the year. Now, as the mayor, I can take some credit for the great things that take place in our strong community. A community people want to live in and call home. But it's the dedicated employees of the Oaklawn municipal government that makes our community what it is. Not only the municipal government employees, but our park districts, and our library, and our school districts, all working together to accomplish a community I want to live in and proud to be the mayor of. I'd like to introduce some of those people. First, our clerk, Claire Henney. Trustee James Pembroke of the 4th District. Trustee Ralph Sock of the 6th District, correct? Ralph? Okay. Our assistant village manager, Jerry Dillon. Our village manager is down under the weather, Tom Fela, tonight, so he is going to fill in his place. And we have Division Chief Pat Condon, who is filling in for the Chief of Police, who happens to be on vacation. And we have our fire chief, Ralph Sock, I see here, who will make presentations. Zach, I'm sorry, Zach. Okay, sorry, Zach, buddy. Ralph got promoted. And our Park District Director, okay, Tom Hartwig. And next to him, okay, our Library Director, Carol Williams. And next to her is our retiring superintendent of Oaklawn High School. And I'm proud to announce that this event is dedicated to you. Okay. Okay. And in our audience tonight, we do have some other dignitaries here that I should mention. We have Patricia Murphy, Worth Township Supervisor, and I'll talk a little bit more about her. Okay. We have Major Dan Johnson, United States Army Park District Commissioner. We have our previous mayor sitting over in the corner here who did such a wonderful job. I hope I can fill your shoes in the past. Dr. Sandra Berry. And like I said, rather than doing all the talking, it is my privilege to let the people who make this village work do their own presentations. We have several other operations, like I said, in the village. And it's actually in the municipal government, and I like to mention them too. We have the Oaklawn Regional Communications Center, our 911 center, which dispatches for a number of communities and cities, not only police and fire. We have the Public Works Department, our Street Department, our Water Department, our Sewer Department, our Equipment Maintenance Department, our Planning and Engineering Department, our Property Maintenance Department, our Economic Maintenance Department, Finance, Human Resources, and Economic Development, and the IT Department. And finally, our Executive Department, our elected officials. That's over 350 employees that make this village work. So they should be up on the stage, not me. And I'm proud to make sure we recognize them. We've also invited, like I said, our superintendent from District 229, Oaklawn High School Director Mike Riordan, who is retiring this year after a tenure with our schools. Just give him applause. He will be speaking a little bit about his accomplishments as the superintendent in our school, and we'll introduce his new superintendent and replacement, who's in the audience here with us tonight. Next year, I hope to invite our superintendent from District 218, Richards High School, to make presentations for their school, because definitely it's the schools, okay, that make people want to live in Oaklawn. So it's important that we recognize them, people. And I'm going to make sure that in the future we will have representatives from all the governmental agencies and the schools have an opportunity to make their presentations. Now, at the end of these presentations, we'll take questions, and I'll have a conclusion. So let's get started. I'll start out with our Assistant Village Manager, Jerry Dillon. Jerry.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for the Chamber for letting me speak. As Mayor mentioned, normally this would be given by Village Manager Tom Phelan, but he's under the weather today, so I'm filling as best I can. As the Mayor said, you know, Oaklawn continues to be a vibrant and great community to live in. Oaklawn is actually the 22nd largest municipality in Illinois with almost 59,000 people. And actually in 2020, when the census came out, we got the official census early in 2022, our population increased by 2,000 people. It's actually one of the largest increases in a couple of decades. Our business community has shown resilience in the COVID pandemic. We have almost 800 active commercial businesses in Oaklawn, and that doesn't include state licensed banks, law offices, and insurance agencies, along with about 150 home-based businesses. Oaklawn's retail business, which includes online sales, rebounded well from the pandemic. In fact, our retail tax collections in 2022, the villages, have almost gotten us caught up from the deficits that we incurred during COVID. Clearly, when the businesses do well in Oaklawn, the village finances do well. We've had several new businesses open in Oaklawn in 2022, like Birdie Sports Bar and Hog Wild Restaurants, and they were provided economic incentives to make it happen, which by opening those restaurants, we help revitalize the Ranch Manor Shopping Center at 111th and Pulaski, which is one of the gateways into the village of Oaklawn. Several of our car dealerships changed hands in 2022, with the Berman Group recently purchasing Mancary's Chrysler, and Napleton Group purchasing the Hawk Ford and Shirley Cadillac dealership. But like most businesses in here, we have been impacted by inflation. This impact ranged from a whole sorts of things. For example, road salt was at $47 a ton early in 2022, but by the time 22 ended, we were paying $75 a ton in road salt. Thankfully, the winter's been relatively mild, so we didn't have to restock very much. We saw similar impacts to cement and asphalt pricing, even bulbs for streetlights. The prices have been jumping tremendously in 2022. And despite that significant inflationary pressures we've been seeing, we still have been able to repave about 4.25 miles of streets and make more than $1 million in sewer upgrades in 2022. Additionally, we're able to increase our police and fire pensions by about $2 million at the end of 2022, above essentially our current funding plan. Finally, our board in 2023 approved a budget that had no property tax increases. In fact, in the last 10 years, property taxes have been raised only once. And our current 2023 tax levy is $14.9 million, and 10 years ago was $14.8 million, so approximately same. And so as we begin 2023, we are cautious. Our 2023 budget has some uncertainties given some ongoing uncertainties with inflation. We have several union contracts that are still in negotiation right now. And then combine this with the ever-present pension funding problem. And we had a recent federal mandate, unfunded mandate, that we need to replace water pipes with any lead in them, which is about a cost of $20 million. So it's safe to say the outlook for 2023 is cautious. There's no new plans for new governmental borrowings or debt increases. And we've asked all our managers, the Mayor mentioned all his departments, to watch closely their budget. In 2023, we'll invest in a new enterprise software system that will help streamline our operations and become more efficient. And one of the first things this enterprise software system is doing is will help us actually revamp. We'll have a new business license fee structure, and our goal is to make the business license fees fairer, less costly for our businesses. So expect that to roll out in the second quarter. In 2023, we're excited to see many new businesses open, including Paisans at 111th near Cicero. We'll see Birdie's Car Wash with about 6600 West 95th Street. Northwestern College at 95th and Cicero opened up recently. You might have saw too, there's a new Fifth Third Bank branch building right on Cicero, just west of, or 95th Street, just west of Cicero. A new Dunkin' Donuts going up near the train station, and a Taco Bell restaurant just opened a little bit south of 95th Street on Cicero. We're also working with the MWRD, the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, and High School 218 on a plan for a new detention basis at Polaris Field that could dramatically reduce flooding in the south part of Oak Lawn. Our community development team has doubled its efforts to enforce property maintenance codes to bring problem properties up to code. And we're also rolling out a new website in April. So it's going to be a new website that's going to be much more informative and easier to use. And for our funding, and for lastly, going back to pensions, our funding of pensions, we're putting aside $12.3 million in 2023 to help continue to fund our pensions, mainly fire and police. Finally, and most importantly, the village has made public safety our #1 priority, which you will hear about the next two speakers. If you've been following what's happening in and around Oak Lawn of late, you know the mayor, the board of trustees, have been outspoken in the forefront to restore law and order in our communities, because without it, nothing else matters. So with that, I'm going to turn over to Police Commander Pat Curran, who will give you a little update on the police. Thank you.
Pat, if I can just follow up on that. Jerry had mentioned all the new businesses, but Annie will tell you one of the biggest jobs I have as the mayor is cutting ribbons for new businesses, lots of them small, and what a great pleasure it is to see new business come into Oak Lawn. Plus all the wonderful positive things that you just were filled in by Jerry. Town is cooking. All right, Pat.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks, Jerry. Good afternoon. On behalf of the police department, I want to thank everyone for coming today. Unfortunately, Police Chief Dan Vittorio had a prior engagement. I'm unable to be here. My name is Pat Curran, and I'm the commander of the Investigations Division, so the detectives. I'll get started by telling you the health of the Oak Lawn Police Department is strong. Across the country, police departments are having a hard time recruiting and retaining personnel. However, here in Oak Lawn, we are at full strength with 109 officers. We have gained over a dozen lateral transfers of experienced CPD officers, and by spring the last of our recruits in the police academy will be hitting the streets. Furthermore, we have a new canine unit with the addition of Thor, a tracking, detection, and apprehension dog. I'd like to thank the chief, the village board, and the mayor for all the support they give our department, not only with manpower, but also with our technology needs. Myself and Lieutenant Hudziak are in charge of these technology projects. Lieutenant Hudziak sitting up here this afternoon. One being the flock license plate readers, or LPRs, which became operational in Oak Lawn in August of '22. This tool is being used in almost every investigation and has helped secure numerous felony arrests, recovery of stolen vehicles, and stolen property. Another project that began in 2018 is the Fusus camera integration project. I took this project over at the end of 2021 with our goal of getting police real-time access to all our schools that have cameras. And now I'm asking you, the business leaders, to partner with us. The idea is, if you have an incident at your business, the police, through Fusus, can see these cameras immediately. Every business is different. You can share whichever cameras you want, and we understand they're your cameras. We just want to access them at the time when there's an emergency incident or something. You guys call 911. We can jump on through this Fusus core and look through your cameras and see what you're seeing and try and capture these bad guys before they get away. I'll give you a quick example. A vehicle taken in a vehicular hijacking in another jurisdiction tripped one of our flock cameras coming into town. Officers quickly located the vehicle parked unoccupied near one of our businesses. One officer was able to access the business's camera right from her squad and was able to see the 3 suspects entering the business and heading to the rear of that business. So she was able to do this right in the squad car. Using this information, officers developed a quick action plan, and officers were able to enter to the rear of the business and take the unsuspecting offenders into custody, one carrying a loaded gun. Without giving us that access to the business's cameras, the outcome could have been very different. So we were able to jump on those cameras and, like a DVR effect, pull back, see people entering that, coming from the area of the car, and figured out that was them because of real-time access to these cameras. Normally, show up to a business, a lot of people don't know how to work this stuff, or in this case, we're looking at the camera seeing where these guys went, and we're able to come in through a back door and grab them. So that's why this is so important. If you look up here in front, I have Jack Howard sitting next to Lieutenant Hudziak. He's our team member with Fusus. He was a police officer, former police officer I met years ago while we were working on a federal narcotics task force with DEA. Jack lives in Evergreen Park and is dedicated to keeping our community safe. There's some sort of Fusus Oak Lawn police literature that we put on the chairs prior to the luncheon here. But if you're interested and can't figure out the QR code or have any issues you want to ask us about, Jack and I, Lieutenant Hudziak, will stick around. Feel free to ask. We also have some iPads. We just started a brand new website to make this even easier. You can grab one of those if you don't want to do it on your phone. If you don't want to share your cameras, I'm asking you at the very least to go to the website and you can register your cameras. And all that does is give us contact information for you, your business, how many cameras you have on site there. So if something does happen, we can reach out to you and say, hey, did you capture this car, these people running down the alley or whatnot? This way the detectives too will reach out to you. They can reach out to you through Fusus if you're signed up, just with a simple email, give you a link. You can just send in your email. Through email, send in your video, which a lot of businesses seem to like. And other than that, I'd just like to thank you very much for your time. Like I said, Jack and I, Lieutenant Hudziak, will stick around if you have any questions. And thank you, Mayor. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Commander. We have always had a strong police department. For those of you that don't know, I have a career in the Oak Lawn Police Department. And when I became mayor, I knew that the most important thing for Oak Lawn is public safety. And that's why you see all the great accomplishments our village through the support of the board. We have increased our police department. I think it was 105 when I retired. It's 109 now. public safety is the mission of any municipal government. We got to fill potholes, okay, and we got to fix sidewalks, but police and fire are the most important mission we do, and I think we do a pretty good job. And with that, I'll introduce our fire chief, Chief Zach Riddle.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to congratulate District 6 trustee Ralph Sock for his promotion to the fire chief job. I will be getting on the next plane to the palm trees and beach, so thank you, Ralph. Appreciate it. So I'd like to share a few thoughts with you about your Oak Lawn Fire Department, beginning with we ran 9,948 calls last year. And if you do the math on that, that is almost 1.2 calls per hour, every hour, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Doesn't matter if it's day or night, what the weather is, if it's a holiday, we're always going to be there. And so the men and women of the Oak Lawn Fire Department are the muscle that moves this organization, and they've been doing an outstanding job. So I'd like to show you a few clips of our men and women from the fire department. As you can see, we are recruiting, and we do have an area set up in the back. We're taking applications until St. Patrick's Day, another Irish holiday for our Irish investor right there. So, sir, scan the QR code, and that's where the application is. We'd love to have you. What are we doing? We're growing the department, we're building the department, and we're making us ready for the future. We've grown the department by 12 members. Right now we've got 75 men and women on the Oak Lawn Fire Department on shift. I have 80 total, and we operate 2 engines, 1 truck, 1 squad, 3 ambulances, and a battalion chief. What does that mean to you? That means that we're going to be to your house or your business in less than 4 minutes after you call 911. What it means is that you get a trained, educated, ready, young firefighter that's strong, that's going to be there to help you. No matter what your emergency is, we're going to be able to take care of it when we get there. So that's what we do. When we're not out answering calls, we're getting ready for the next call. We partner with community organizations, the Advocate Christ Children's Hospital. We do a toy drive for them every year, and several other charitable organizations. We have a Fire Buddies program for young boys and girls who have near terminal illnesses. They get to be a firefighter for a day or two. We kind of adopt the family and help them out with some gifts during the holiday time as it gets tough. So we're responding almost 10,000 times a year. We're getting ready. Every firefighter, paramedic trains for at least 2 hours every day. If you do the math on that, that's almost 300 hours a year. And we partner with our village. So who we are, we're 80 of your friends, of your neighbors, of your community partners, men and women, and we're here to help you every single day of the year, no matter what. So if you're trapped, if you're caught, If you can't breathe, make sure somebody dials 911. If you can't get out of your house, get in a room, shut the door, get to a window. If you got one heartbeat left or one breath left, hang on, because we're coming and we're going to get you. That's what we do. Oak Lawn Fire Department, our mission is to save your life. Thank you very much.
And now we'll move on to the Oak Lawn Park District. I've always said that the parks in Oak Lawn are the diamonds of this community. They are where we recreate. That's why we want these open spaces. This park district does such a wonderful job. My first elected position was a commissioner with the Oak Lawn Park. When I decided to go over to the dark side, leave the police department, become a politician, I chose the park district to do it. Tom, want to come up?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Terry. Thank you for inviting us to be part of the State of the Village address. Even though we're not technically part of the village, we work hand in hand with the village and other agencies to try and make everyone's life in Oak Lawn better. So we're humble and we're appreciative to have a chance to talk. I'll try and be brief. Obviously, we're the Park District. My name is Tom Hartwig. I'm the Executive Director. The Park District is doing fantastic. Like many of you, we run similar to a business. COVID hit us very hard. We had to close our doors. I am very excited and happy to say that our numbers are back to pre-COVID. Everything that we do, all of our programs, everything we offer is doing fantastic. Some of the stuff that we have worked on over the past year, or we're almost finished with, is we've done a large renovation project over at Central Pool. That's over on 9400 Kenton. We've dumped a lot of money into it. Unfortunately, if you come there, most of it you won't see what we've done. It's been a lot of mechanicals, new liners, pumps, controllers, everything we could do to make it operate more efficiently, new liners so it doesn't leak water anymore. It's going to have a new lobby. There is some stuff that looks really cool. It's a nice new lobby area, new guard office, painted some areas, made the outside look better and made it more sustainable. That's going on now. Lewandowski Park, for those of you who don't know, the park on 87th Street just before Cicero. Lewandowski Park is actually our arboretum. So we have several different varieties of trees that adorn that park. Most of it wasn't very accessible because there was no path that went through there. So we're putting a whole new path through there with LED lighting so people can passively go through and enjoy all the trees that are out there. We'll be done with that very soon, hopefully this spring. We also redid the playground over at Oakview. So at our Oakview Center, we had a preschool play lot over there that it had seen its time. That equipment actually was taken out and donated to South America, I believe. So they were able to repurpose that equipment, and we put in a brand new park, leveled it out. We got rid of the fence that had the yellow cap over it, so it doesn't look like outfield fencing anymore. It's a beautiful little park, and the kids were watching it be built the whole time, just dying to get out there, so they finally were able to get out there. Some of the stuff we have coming up in the future, as you know, Wolf Wildlife Park is one of the largest park that we operate, and we're waiting to hear about an OSLAD grant for that park. We're going to be replacing all of the trails. After our community needs assessment, one of the number one things that people wanted from the village, our residents, was places to walk. If you've been out there, you know that trails been out there for a long time, so we're going to replace all of those paths. For those of you that are pickleball players, we're installing 6 pickleball courts over in Little Wolf, so we'll have that outside area where people can play. We're also replacing all the lighting with LED to be more efficient. Centennial Park is going to get a little bit of work over on 94th and Oak Park. The baseball fields, we're adding some shades to the baseball fields. We're putting up some fences in the outfield to make those fields play a little bit better and make them safe. We're also looking to add grass volleyball courts because grass volleyball is up and coming. It's very popular, so we're looking to add that. A few of the things going on, which is really interesting. Because of the pandemic, we no longer mail out brochures. We used to do 4 brochures a year that we would mail to 20,000 homes every year, and it was very costly. The pandemic made us stop doing that, and since then we've continued to go digital, which saves resources, saves trees. That was a lot of waste. But the statistics that we're getting off of our websites, our users are up over 20%, at 161,000 users in 22 compared to 135,000 the year before. Page views are up over 20% with over 611,000 people looking at our pages. The program guide has over 62,000 people. It's up over 91% over last year as far as people looking at that information. Social media, which we use a lot, the overall page engagement is up 191% over 2021, and page content clicks are up 76%. The total page impressions we've had is up over 200% at 1.3 million. So we're getting out our word. We're getting a lot of people to come and see it. In general, right now we're going through, and as Terry mentioned, the Park District, we have one of the best park districts in the state, if not in the country. We work very hard to make sure that our agency operates the way that it should. We're currently a distinguished agency under the Illinois Association of Park Districts, and right now we're in the middle of getting reaccredited through CAPRA, which is a national accreditation where they come in and make sure we're doing all the things that park districts should, and just being able to prove to our residents and everyone in town that we're spending our money wisely and we're doing everything that we should. In general, all of our programs, as I mentioned, were great. We just got done with Cinderella at our community theater. We had 6 shows. We added 2, sold those out in probably about a week. Sold out all 8 shows. It was an absolutely amazing event. Our before and after school program numbers are up. Gymnastics almost back to the same spot. Tennis. Day camps did very well last year. We expect that to get even better. Adult leagues are great, and a couple of shameless plugs. Fish fries will be starting on Ash Wednesday and then every Friday. Caesar is back cooking for us, and all of our fish is fresh. They just picked it up. The truck still smells like fish from all the cases they took out, but he hand fillets, hand batters, and he'll have that available. So if anyone ever needs anything, if you're looking for partnerships, we are willing to partner with everyone. We partner with the village, with the library, the schools. We're always willing to work with everyone, and it's an honor to be able to talk to everyone today. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Did I not tell you that the Park District was the diamonds of our community? These guys work very, very hard to make this a family-friendly community. And we will now have Carol Williams from our library. I had the opportunity to attend the library introduction just a couple of weeks ago with my wife. I was, even as the mayor, I was surprised to find all the opportunities and things going on in our library. I think would benefit everybody to take a night and go over there and take a look at what's available there. It's impressive. Carol, please.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today, and thank you to Mayor Vorderer for once again inviting myself and the library to participate in the State of the Village presentation. Last year when I spoke, I touched upon the struggle of change that the library was going through as we clawed our way out of the pandemic, as did most of you. With 2022 behind us, I can say without a doubt that we saw fulfillment in the changes that we implemented back in 21. Staffing has been an issue for us for the previous 3 years. We had turnover rates in both 21 and 22 at 30%. But as we've begun 23, I'm very optimistic that our turnover rate will drop. We've moved some existing staff, hired some new people who are excited to be part of our library team. We have 1 open part-time position left that we're looking to hire, and with that, we're fully staffed. Foot traffic to the library has nearly doubled in the last year. We had 80,530 people visit the library in 2021, and at the conclusion of 22, we saw that increase to 159,456 visitors. Meeting and study room usage increased 55%. Adult computer usage increased 55% as well. And children's computer usage increased 227%. Wi-Fi usage is also up 36.5%. Pages printed is up 39%. Public programming increased almost 88% from 518 programs in 21 to 973 programs in 22, with a recorded attendance of just under 27,000 people. And of those 973 programs, 169 of them were what we call co-sponsored programs. That means we partnered with another community organization in order to provide that program. Some of our partners include Advocate Aurora Health, the Friends of the Library, Hibernian Home Care, Gen Care, Park Lawn, Pathlights, ProMedica, and Republic Bank, just to name a few. I personally feel that we ended the year with great progress, and there are two reasons I believe we saw such an increase in our numbers. First is our staff, both those who have toughed it out with us during the difficult times and those new individuals who have joined our library family during the past 24 months. We've worked through some reorganization and came together strong and forward-moving. Second is the community itself. After 2 years of restrictions and unasked for changes in their daily lives, people wanted to reclaim what they had lost, the ability to go where they wanted to, when they wanted to. They were ready to reconnect and be part of a bigger community instead of staying stuck in their small bubbles. Change is hard. Even desired change takes effort. Our patrons and presenters made the conscious effort to include the library in their daily, weekly, or monthly routines. For 23, we're looking forward to as much, if not more, public programming. We'll continue with our largest single event of the year, the Fan Fest, which is scheduled this year for Saturday, May 6th. We're going to offer Narcan training for local businesses on how to identify and administer assistance in the event of an opioid overdose. We did a staff training at the library this past August, and while we have a large enough staff to provide the training at our organization, we recognize that many of the local businesses either do not have enough staff to warrant the training or do not have the ability to have such. So we're in the process of arranging a training for local businesses to send staff to attend at no cost. We're looking at dates during the second week of May. And when that is confirmed, we'll announce at either the March or April chamber meeting when the training will be held and how you can register your staff. Summer reading will take place during the months of June and July. There'll be activities and reading challenges for all ages. We're locking down details for an outdoor performance of the Ballet Folklorico Dancers on June 10th at 11 a.m. to kick off the summer festivities. We're also going to repeat a very successful program we presented last year, the All-Library Trick or Treat, which we did on a Sunday in late October. It gave kids the opportunity to get another day's wear out of their costumes, and it gave the parents and grandparents the opportunity to take their kids out and have some fun on a Sunday afternoon. We had stations located throughout the library, and visitors were encouraged to wear costumes, participate in activities and games, and get candy and prizes for their trick-or-treat bags. We'll announce that date later in the fall. Throughout the year, we'll be visiting local schools and attending community events to continue to reach out to those who aren't library regulars to discuss how to get a library card and how to access materials and services. If any of the businesses represented here today would like to partner with us to present a free program to the public, please reach out to us today or at any time in the future. And one final thing, at the conclusion of 2022, our Board of Trustees voted in favor of a new project that will be taking place at the library later this year. If any of you are familiar with our building, you may know that we have a drive-through lane that makes it easy for you to drop off library returns without the need to park and walk over to the building. The new project will be installing a drive-through window in that same existing lane that's going to allow patrons to pick up library materials from the convenience of their cars. We anticipate that this will help those with mobility issues from having to park and walk when doing so causes difficulty. and parents who need convenience without having to unbuckle sleeping children or multiple kids just to pick up 1 or 2 items. We also expect that this convenience will draw patronage from neighboring towns to drive over to Oak Lawn, especially if they can combine their trip to pick up the materials with a stop at 1 or more of your local businesses. So thank you for your time today, and I hope to see all of you at the library this year.
And now, our guest of honor, Superintendent Dr. Mike Riordan.
Well, first of all, thank you all for sticking it out to the end here. I know we're on a little bit of overtime, but I appreciate everyone still being around. I really do want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring this annual event. I've been coming to it for years. I've found that it is interesting, informative, and I know I personally enjoy hearing all the new great initiatives and programs and developments that the village is putting forth for the residents. So thank you to the Chamber, and thank you to Mayor Vorderer for allowing me to share the stage for just a few minutes and share a little bit about things that have gone on and are going on at Oak Lawn Community High School. So probably everybody has driven by Oak Lawn Community High School. I'm going to make that safe assumption. We're sitting there at 95th and Southwest Highway. What I'm guessing many people in the room don't know is that there actually is another Oak Lawn Community High School campus. The property that's just north of Christ Hospital, that probably gets confused with Tom's property oftentimes, the Park District, is actually Oak Lawn Community High School property, where those soccer fields and softball fields and baseball fields, and actually even the Ronald McDonald House, you all probably know where that's at. That actually is all Oak Lawn Community High School property. And so, I mention that just so people understand how invested the school district is in the wellness of the community overall. Obviously, our primary mission is the education of our students, but obviously it also goes well beyond that. So the school actually opened in 1952. Just a quick little history lesson, because the story of Mike Riordan is very much the story of Oak Lawn Community High School. I know that. We've known each other a long time. So we opened in 1952, had about 800 students, and over the next 20 years, it's the enrollment of the school skyrocketed. Okay, so I look back at Brian, I think we were on that long trajectory upward as you were coming through. We actually maxed out about 3,300 students in the mid-70s, 1975. But right as the baby boomers were just about finished going through high school, Linda and probably your class, there was probably just as steep of a fall through the late 70s and early 80s. And so we actually bottomed out at about 1,300 students in 1990. And then in 1992, I went to work there. And things have been great ever since then, of course. No, I'm not sure I had that much to do with it. But to be honest, over the past 20 years, Oak Lawn Community High School has been incredibly stable. Our enrollment has been just a little bit above or a little bit below 1,800 students year in, year out over the past 20 years. And I'll be honest, I credit our stability as a school to the stability of this community and of the village of Oak Lawn. I really do. As I see it, Oak Lawn is a place where people want to live. Families choose to move here, and families choose to raise their families here in this school. People continue to move here, and Oak Lawn is very proud. Oak Lawn High School is very proud to be a contributor to the high quality of life that Oak Lawn provides. And that's been through great partnerships between the schools and the village and the Park District and the library and all the other many organizations that make this community a desirable place to be, both to live and to work. Our school, as all public schools, are governed by an elected Board of Education. So those 7 volunteers are from the community, and they are charged with the task of ensuring that we provide the best educational experiences for those 1,800 kids that come to us every day. The board also needs to balance that task with being good stewards of the resources the community provides. So I can assure you that every dollar that we collect when you're paying that property tax bill, and then the little bit of money we get from the federal government and the state government, and mostly is from the local community, I can assure you that that is spent on making sure that our kids are getting every service they need, academically, socially, and so forth, so that when they graduate, they are positive contributing members of the community and our society. Our alumni at Oak Lawn High School have accomplished many great things over a long period of time in almost every field of work. As outlined in our school's mission, we graduate students who are prepared for future success, no matter what career path their choice may be. Each year, our graduates are headed off to some of the best colleges and universities in the state and across the country. But many of them are also going to outstanding trade, technical, and apprenticeship schools and programs. Many of them are going to the military. Many of them are going right into the world of work. Our job is to set those kids up for success, and I'm very proud of the job we do, that they are successful in whatever path that they choose. And while I said you can find Oak Lawn alumni anywhere probably in the world, many of those alumni have chosen to settle right here. Many of our Oak Lawn students are second or even third generation Spartans, families that have chosen to reinvest in the community, settle in the community, and send their kids to Oak Lawn again. And we're very, very appreciative of that. So I'd like to close just by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to the Chamber of Commerce, to the Village of Oak Lawn, to all of the people and organizations in this community that make Oak Lawn a wonderful place to live and work. As I mentioned, I started working at Oak Lawn in 1992. My Oak Lawn story actually starts a little bit before that, when I was born at Christ Hospital 4 days before the historic tornado. My mom and dad brought me home the morning of the tornado, actually. So my connection to Oak Lawn is long and it's strong, and I am incredibly appreciative of all of the opportunities that this village and the people that make up this village have provided for me, for our school, and for my students. I'll be retiring on June 30th. So on July 1st, our new superintendent will be taking over. I'd like to do a quick introduction. Dr. Shaheh Bagdasarian is right there in the back. You want to wave, Shaheh? So Shaheh comes to us. He's currently the principal at York High School in Elmhurst. That's a wonderful high school, wonderful district. He's done a great job there, and I have every bit of confidence that he's going to continue moving Oak Lawn High School forward in the service of our students. I'm also sure that he will emphasize just as much as I have about community engagement and making sure that our school continues to be an asset to this community. So finally, in the 31 years, I've been driving to Oak Lawn High School. And believe it or not, I still enjoy my drive to school every day. It's been a wonderful journey. And what's made it so wonderful is the satisfaction of seeing the fruits of our product, our students graduating and moving on to successes. But what's also made it so gratifying is looking across this room and across this table and seeing all the people that I've had the opportunity to work with and get to know and share those successes in. So thank you, everybody, so much. I really appreciate all the support you provided me and provided Oak Lawn High School. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mike. Thank you. I can tell you, he has done much for the village of Oak Lawn, and we're going to miss you, Mike. We're going to miss you, and your predecessor, or your successor, is going to have big shoes to fill. I can assure you that. I'll keep him on task, though. All right? Okay, all right. Well, you know, that wraps up our summary here. In conclusion, I'd like just to make a couple of points, if you would allow me. I know time is precious. First off, I'd like to mention we have a candidate here, Eileen. Eileen, stand up. Eileen Walsh is running for the Moraine Valley College, and I can't think of anybody I'd rather endorse than Eileen. She has given so much to Oak Lawn and to this chamber. Get out the vote for Eileen. She's got 10 candidates for 2 positions. We need a representative on that board from Oak Lawn, and I can't think of a better Than Eileen. Thank you, Eileen. And Steve, I saw you in the back there. Steve was a previous trustee, District 4, my home. Served us for how many years, Steve? Thanks for coming out, Steve. Stay good. All right, and I just want to touch on the work that Patricia Murphy has done. Okay, when I got elected, unfortunately, we came out of the pandemic and we had some budgetary issues that we had to solve. And I wasn't laying off police and I wasn't cutting fire. So we looked at the senior bus and we had to cancel it. But when Patricia got elected, same time I did, she picked up the mantle and is running and started a township bus. It's in its infancy, right, Patricia? Yeah, you're rolling. Yeah, and this bus will provide our seniors not only transportation in Oak Lawn, and that's where our limitations were on our bus prior, but we'll be able to take our seniors and seniors of other communities throughout the township. Is that correct? Okay, and there's some literature in the back. Thank you, Patricia, for picking that up. Well, you're welcome. Well, all the mayors. I mean, I think May and you might have first talked about the concept. We reached out to the other mayors, Evergreen Park, Chicago Ridge also. They all came on board, okay, and hopefully you'll see these buses running up down the streets, okay, providing free service at a very minimal cost, just a few dollars for our seniors. And one other thing, you know, the senior center, we've been working on trying to resolve the senior center and give them their own place. Currently, we meet at a rented space at one of our schools, 105th Street. It's worked out pretty good for a number of years, but it's my mission, okay, to find them their own home. And I'd like to bring them into the center of town, but everything unfortunately is about the money. So originally we started talking with our other governmental agencies and how we can partner and do that. We've been working on it for more than 2 years. Finally, I've reached out to one of our businesses, one of our national businesses, maybe the partnership on helping us resolve some of the financial issues. And I think they're going to reach out to the Park District, Tom, have they called you yet? Okay, and hopefully we can make a nice announcement next year at this meeting for our seniors. And lastly, I want to mention, it was mentioned by Annie, but one of our organizations that does so much for the Park District is our Oakland Parks Foundation. I'm a member of that. I see 3 or 4 members in our audience here, and one of their big fundraisers will happen February 25th. It's a trivia night. It occurs at the Oakland VFW. Literature is on the table, maybe on your desk. Come on, let's support the Oakland Parks Foundation. Every dollar we raise as a foundation member goes back to our Park District to help some of the wonderful things you heard Top say. So with that, we'll take questions. And I have a couple here written. All right. What incentives does Oakland have for small business looking to expand from a home base to bricks and mortar? Great question. I'll ask Jerry, have we ever talked about this? I know years ago we had some financial backing from the feds or the state to help us upgrade our business, but those grants have expired.
Right, yeah, those expired, and some of the HUD grants are complex and they're not easy really to roll out, so we're not doing things like that. We do offer, you know, for some car dealerships or some, you know, sales tax abatement, you know, depending what the size, you know, the business and what they're going to do, we will look into something. So if you have any questions or thought, you can always reach out to the village manager. We can look into it.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. And here, the last question is the senior bus. When are you going to get your senior bus? I think I addressed that. Okay. And I know who asked that question. She's a mover and shaker in her own right. Hi, Ginger. Any other questions? Hearing no questions, I want to thank everybody for coming out. It gives us an opportunity to sell this village. This year we're recording it, and hopefully we'll get it up on our new website so we can share everything that happened here with the entire community. Again, happy Valentine's Day. Enjoy your day.